Welcome into the video, everybody. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my list of the top 5 players that have been exceeding expectations and blasting off in training camp so far. You can pick up with the last pick in fantasy football drafts and stash at the end of your bench for when they provide you value. Now, quick disclaimer, these are not players I'm extremely high on that you should be reaching in like the round 15 or 14 or something like that, but these are players that have made a case and made noise in minicamp that you should be taking into account, and players that could be a part of your league winning steps. The things we're also looking for here to make them a real value when the fantasy season comes is that they're on a good team and a decent offense, as well as they don't have stashed roles. They don't have rock solid roles in this offense, which means there's room for improvement and there's room for new guys to make a case. For example, in this video, we're not going to be talking about guys like in the Eagles offense because there's really nowhere to emerge there. I mean, you're not going to overtake AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, any of those guys. But with that being said, if you guys do get any value from this video, please go ahead and drop a like. Also, if you aren't subbed to the page already and you've made it this far in the video, I assume that you got something from it, so you might as well hit that sub button. But the very first player that has been making a lot of noise in training camp that you guys need to keep an eye on for is Jake Ferguson, and he is projected to be the #1 tight end going into the season for Dallas this year. And we know that Dallas has a history of using their tight ends a lot, and I will take any shot at the tight end position that I can because the tight end slot is just so dry, and it has been really dry over the past few seasons. And with Dalton Schultz gone, it opens up a lot of opportunity for him. Even when Dalton Schultz was in this offense, Ferguson was still getting some looks and being worked in, and now he has the chance to emerge, and he's been doing really good in training camp. Dalton Schultz was a top 10 tight end every year that he started with Dallas. He averaged 60 catches a game and over 600 yards, and all of that can pretty much be given to Jake Ferguson now. What I'm getting at is that his role to Dak as this tight end 1 in this offense is a very valuable one. The next guy that I am very invested in right now and is making a real case is Deneric Prince for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, at first glance, you're probably like, man, what is this dude talking about? They have Pacheco that's going to take all of the running. They have McKinnon that's going to take all the receiving. And they have, I guess, CEH will take something, right? But no, let me explain why he actually has a chance to break out in this offense. Now, I do have to say he won't be an immediate value, but over the course of the season, he is going to make a case for himself, and he has been exploding in minicamp. Pacheco isn't at camp right now, obviously, due to his injury. CEH, I mean, hasn't really been relevant for a couple years, and McKinnon, he's going to be penciled in for all of the receiving work, which is fine. Because then we have Deneric, who's actually very similar to Isaiah Pacheco in their player profiles. I mean, they're both really fast, explosive, strong running backs. Now, a lot of beat reporters and training staff have come out and said that he pretty much has cemented himself in the 53-man roster, and obviously there's always a chance that he doesn't make the 53-man roster, but when the season comes around, let's say he does, he is a very, very valuable stash that you need to be picking up with the last pick in your draft. Because any running back in this Kansas City hyper-effective offense is going to be a valuable one if he does get the opportunity. But Dwayne McBride is another super undervalued running back that brings a little bit more risk, but at the same time has a lot of upside. He does have a bit more of a case to not make the 53-man roster because he is super underlooked, but with Dalvin Cook gone, I doubt that Alexander Mattison is going to take 100% of that role that Dalvin Cook left for him. Now, I'm not saying Mattison is going to split the backfield 50-50. He is going to take the majority of it, but there's obviously room in here to be a decent running back and someone to back him up. As of right now, Dwayne McBride is behind Mattison and Ty Chandler in the running back depth chart. I'm not really too worried about Chandler, honestly. But again, some value is going to have to go outside of Alexander Mattison. He's also got great metrics. He's a 5'10", 200-pound running back. And if he can stay on the 53-man roster through the start of the season, I really do think he is going to be the backup behind Alexander Mattison. And picking him up with your last pick is going to be a savior if he does break out. But Sam LaPorta is another guy that is earning himself a whole lot of buzz in minicamp, and I think it's all justified. Let me explain why. In my eyes, he's pretty much just a discount of Dalton Kincaid, a copy-paste of what he is, just going a little bit later in drafts, and all he has to do is beat out Brock Wright, which I promise you is not going to be hard for the tight end 1 position for the Lions, and he might honestly get that in week 1, if not in the first couple weeks. He's a 6'3" tight end that ran a 6'4" 40-yard dash, which is absolutely crazy for someone that size. He has the ability to come in and take volume immediately with Jameson Williams being out 6 games with a suspension, so if he can make a case for him in those 6 weeks, he's going to be an absolute steal. But again, the tight end position is so dry, I'm clinging on to any hope and any news that I do get for this position in minicamp, and he is a value that I love in the 14th round. Another guy I'm liking that you can probably get off waivers after the draft is Puka Nacua of the LA Rams. Now, this offense isn't necessarily one that we want to be targeting, but with Matthew Stafford being healthy, Cooper Kupp being healthy, and the offensive line being pretty decent, I don't really hate his chances. Outside of Cooper Kupp, this wide receiver room is completely up for grabs. No matter how much people want Van Jefferson to be relevant, he's just really not earning the hype that he's getting. With Ben Skowronek dealing with injury, he could come in as the wide receiver 3 in this offense from the jump in week 1 and really make a case for himself. He's already got good size and is built for the NFL, and in college he ranked 17th in contested catch rate. He also poses as a dual threat because he did run and take some carries out of the backfield for BYU in college, and that kind of matches what the Rams wanted to do with Robert Woods, and he's not on the team anymore. At an ADP of 326, I mean, you don't even have to draft him. You can just pick him up after the draft, but I do really like his chances if he does make a case to be one of the starting wide receivers in this offense. And our bonus wide receiver that people are now starting to cling on to after hearing news is Parris Campbell. Reports have been coming here and there that he's really excelling in minicamp, and let me get to you guys the information on why he really is a sleeper and has the potential to do something great. This Giants wide receiver room is one that I have been monitoring a lot this season, and it's really just up for grabs right now. Outside of Wan'Dale Robinson and Sterling Shepard, who are both dealing with injuries, he's got some upside here. And if he can manage to make noise during the season before these wide receivers come back, he really just has a chance to break out. But he is a bit more of a risky bet because the Giants, as we've seen with Kenny Golladay, really aren't scared to just rip wide receivers out of this offense and put new ones in. So he really does have to make a case. I'd say it's 50-50, but it is more of a risky opportunity you're putting yourself into. But those are the players that have been exploding through minicamp that you need to jot down in your notes come fantasy football draft season. The later rounds are when drafts are won, and a lot of people just don't have enough care to put in the effort to research in these late rounds, and this is where we gain the advantage. If you guys did get anything from this video and are looking for more valuable tips, go ahead and drop a subscribe on this page if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video.